Where I want to start today's video out at is a message I posted in the breadcrumbs tab inside the private stock group's Discord chat. And I said, hot time periods, which by the way, we're going through a hot time period right now. Hot time periods in the market can potentially be used to clean out the crap. What does that mean? It's essentially if a person holds, let's say, a stock or some stocks, let's say you hold it over time, you're like, this company's not it, right? Because, I mean, when we go to buy a stock as an investor, you always think it's a great company, you're going to make so much money, blah, 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 okay? And then over coming months or potentially years, you start to realize, oh, this company's not what I thought it was, and there's way better places for my money. As an investor in the market, you will always experience this, right? If you're a good investor in the market, most of the time, stocks are going to go up for you, the majority of your stocks, right? Some things are going to go way better for you, some things are going to go way worse from you. That's the life of an investor. But you can use hot time periods as kind of like switching out from your crap in your portfolio, if you have some of that, which we all end up collecting some of that over time, into companies that you really want to be positioned in over the next three to 5 years that you think are very strong positions, right? And if I go through some of the positions I have in the public count, there's some stocks that have done okay for me. There's some stocks that have done phenomenal for me. And then there's some stocks that have, let's just call it, not been the ones, right? And a good example of an okay is Skyworks Solutions, right? This stock's done me okay over the years. It hasn't been the greatest performer. It's paid me some really good dividend money over the years, but it's meh. It's kind of a meh stock. It's an okay. Even Meta stock, believe it or not, has been an okay for me because I've owned this stock for years and years and years. It's not like I just bought in last year. I loaded up on shares last year and I got a lot of shares at some very attractive pricing. But overall, I wouldn't say Meta's necessarily been a banger for me. It's been a good money maker and it's been an okay stock, but that's where I'd put that. And then there's other stocks for me out there, like an Elf on the shelf, right? Elf, I mean, that would be in the category that went way better than I ever thought it could. I never thought I would be holding Elf shares up 1,800%. I never thought that would happen. I thought, okay, maybe Elf is a 2x, 3x type opportunity. 1,800%? I never saw that coming. I would be an absolute liar if I said, oh yeah, I knew Elf was going to return me 1,800%. No, I didn't. It just went way better than I thought it did. Tesla, same exact situation. That one's gone way better than I thought it ever could have. I mean, the gains have been extraordinary, right? On the downside, some stocks have gone way worse than I ever thought they would. Good example of that is the Planet, right? That's gone way worse than I thought it would. I mean, the fact that stock's under $1, man, didn't really see that coming, right? The Chef, right? Man, did that one go bad. Never really saw wow, going BK, that's crazy, right? And this is the market, right? You make some investment decision, you look back and you're like, damn, that was pretty freaking stupid. And you look back at some others and you're like, great job, man. You really knocked out the ballpark. And then a lot of others are kind of like, they're kind of meh, right? No, the bottom line is when you're in the market and you're buying these stocks, right? The earlier you realize you made a mistake, the better. And as somebody that's been doing this game for 15 years now, I can just tell you, the earlier you realize, you know what, I think I got some crap here and I need to move on, the better you'll be. Trust me on that. The better you'll be. Holding on and hoping things will magically work out, why the business just gets worse and worse and worse, it's dangerous. And it usually doesn't work out, right? And if I look at what happened with the Chef, perfect example of that. If I look at my other most famous mistake I made as a public creator since I've been on this platform since 2016, the other most famous mistake I ever made was a company named GoPro. Same exact situation where the business just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I looked out there and I kept hope. Maybe they'll turn around. I hope they turn it around. And hope is not a good investment strategy. The bottom line is when a business keeps deteriorating, you have to say, you know what? I need to move on because there's thousands of stocks in the market. There's so many opportunities out there, so much better quality out there. You've got to learn to just move on, get past that, clean out the crap, right? We got to answer a question because you hear this term thrown around a lot like, oh, I bought quality stocks or I'm buying a quality stock. What does it actually mean? What does it actually mean? What is a quality stock? Does that mean high growth? Does that mean high profits? Does it mean low PE? What does it mean it's been around for 50 years? What is a quality stock? Okay, I'll put it simply like this. Okay, what is a quality athlete? What is a strong athlete? A strong athlete and a quality athlete, I should be able to put them through just about any workout, and they would get through that workout and be just fine. They would be strong enough physically and mentally to get through even a super hard workout for me to put them through, right? That's a quality athlete. So when it comes to a stock, and a quality stock, right? A strong stock, that is a company that can get through anything. Even the worst case scenarios that you thought this would never happen, they get through it. They don't go bankrupt. They get through it, and they emerge stronger coming out of that than you ever thought previously, right? And if we think about the business cycle we have been in for the past several years, we've been through an extraordinary business cycle in the last 4 years. Think about this for a moment. We went from pretty strong economy to suddenly, almost overnight, sky-high unemployment, closures, all over the world, businesses shut down, incredible, right? To then the next year, a booming economy, right? Into massive inflation economy with a massive deceleration in the economy. And we went through all that in a 4-year span. 4 years, folks. That's extraordinary. You never really get that many business cycles all in a 4-year span. As a matter of fact, I cannot think of a time period in the history of economics where we went through all 4 cycles in 4 years. I literally can't. It didn't happen in the Great Financial Crisis. It didn't happen in even in the Great Depression. We never really saw all of those 4 cycles all play out within a 4-year span. That's extraordinary. Extraordinary. Now we have a lot of categories that are literally facing deflation right now, right? I mean, that's a pretty extraordinary situation we have going on, right? So I know some quality companies out there, some true qualities, and this is where I put the money, okay? The first one is Wynn Resorts. Quality. When I think about a company that has made it through everything, this company comes to mind. Okay, they've made it through the Great Financial Crisis and that crazy credit crunch. They went through a situation back in, that was like 2011, 2012, where their biggest shareholder outside of Steve Wynn, this guy named Okada in Japan, he was involved in some stuff. They had to oust him. It was a messy situation. Then the founder of the company, Steve Wynn, got in a messy situation. He got ousted from the company and had to sell all his shares. Then they went through closures, basically like 3 years of pretty much big closures in Macau, and then a significant closure for a couple months in Vegas. If I think about a business that has been through everything the past 15 years, this is exactly the business I'm thinking of. And yet, look at them. They emerge, their properties are so well run, their hotels are so well run, the company's in a just fine financial position, and they'll be in probably a much stronger financial position over the next few years. In their brand reputation, they keep it around. It's magical. That to me is quality. That to me is strong. They can make it through anything. Anything, man. Incredible. Next stock I bought here today is Meta. Meta, if I think about quality, this is as quality as it gets. When I think about when this company went IPO, and no one wanted this company and no one understood it, and it fell 50% from the IPO price through the next several months. Like, what an embarrassing kind of IPO situation that was, right? If I think about all the government stuff and all that stuff they had to deal with, right? And I think about last year, what they went through, and yet they emerged stronger and stronger and stronger as a company, and they were able to get through everything, right? And they obviously own Facebook Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, Threads. Obviously, they got the VR business, AR business. And so when I just think of a company that, man, is that company strong, 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 I think about Meta. Is Meta still a buy? Yes, absolutely. Is Meta still easy money? Yes, absolutely. Is it as easy money as it was a year and a half ago? No. But it is still an easy money buy. With that being said, I will likely not be buying Meta stock in 2024. And why is that? Well, the reason being is it's such a heavy weight in the portfolio already, right? I mean, like we're talking about, this is 30% plus of the portfolio. It's already a little too heavy of a weight in general. And so when I can find a lot of other opportunities out there, so I feel comfortable just holding my Meta shares that I currently have. Would I probably be buying Meta shares if I didn't already own Meta? Probably. Yeah, I'd probably be buying. Now, how do I think Meta stock is going to perform in 2024? And the answer is, I think Meta stock will perform actually, surprisingly, pretty decent in 2024 again. Now, do I think it's going to have the sort of year it's had in 2023 where it's up, over a double up? No. But do I think Meta could have a year where the stock goes up 20%, 30%, which would be a phenomenal return? Absolutely. I do believe Meta could do that. And that's really regardless of what happens in the macroeconomic landscape, because I believe Meta is going to put up tremendous numbers this entire year. And if you look at the valuation metrics, it's very undervalued right now. So that's Meta. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. It is the biggest stock in the portfolio overall. Next stock I bought here today, Tesla. So Tesla, what an incredible company. When you really think about Tesla, right? And then we'll get to Tom Lee and the ramifications that has for a lot of stocks and what this means for a lot of stocks and all those things in just a moment, okay? Tesla, think about this for a moment, right? Great financial crisis, this company was on the verge of bankruptcy, right? They had no products in the market. Then they had to learn as a company how to scale a Model S. Then they had to learn how to scale a Model X. Then after that, they had to learn how to scale a very top-selling vehicle in the Model 3. Then they had to learn how to scale an SUV that's similar to a Model 3 in the Model Y and expand their business then international with gigafactories all over the world. Now they're in the Cybertruck, and you look what the engineers have done with this company, and look what they've done throughout recessions and throughout even, let's call it, a horrible time for kind of the auto market here over the past year, especially when it comes to interest rates, right? And yet they've made it through. And even though they've had to cut prices and even all the stuff that surrounded Elon Musk, which that's a whole circus in itself all the time, right? Elon and the publicity and negative and, and Tesla, every single time something happens negative with Tesla, it's all over the internet, 1 million people are sharing it. People that don't even really care about Tesla were texting me today about Tesla has 2 million vehicles or all their vehicles forever made, they got a recall out there. And it's like, you realize that's an over-the-air update. Like they can literally knock that out, right? And it's just like, whoever text other people about a recall? That doesn't happen. There's recalls all the time in vehicles. But Tesla, it's big news. And so you think about everything this company's been through. And yet, coming out of that, they end up emerging stronger and stronger and stronger. And so this time period we're going through right now will eventually end. And then the company will emerge stronger and stronger and stronger. And if I think about, they've just been through a lot, man. And yet they always make it out to the other side. And then, next thing you know, everybody and their grandma wants to own Tesla stock. And so that to me is quality. Tesla, second biggest stock for me in the portfolio. So now, first off, before we get into Tesla, like you add up Tesla and you add up Meta, I have over $1 million in just those two stocks, right? And if you know the way I like to position my portfolios, I love to position my portfolios in the strongest of the strong companies. And, when I look at companies like Meta, companies like Tesla, and some of these others that are at the top of the food chain, like these are the strongest companies in the world, in my opinion. Like Tesla to be growing in an environment like we've been going through with very high interest rates, I mean, it's been pretty remarkable that they've still been able to put up growth even in that sort of environment. And when I look at the team that Tesla has, it's there's really no one on the planet that has a team on the engineering side like Tesla does. Like the things they're doing, when you look into the technology of the Cybertruck and you look at how many new technologies they've had to create to build the Cybertruck, it's remarkable. It's absolutely remarkable. Like you can't. There's no word choice to even describe like what they're really up to there and the things they're pulling off. They're doing things that, a lot of people that are experts in these industries thought this is impossible. You can't do this with steel. You can't do this with aerodynamics. You can't do this. You can't do that. And they break through the mold. So Tesla, $405,000. There's another one that became a huge weight in the portfolio once again because it went up so much, right? I mean, we're up $366,000 in the stock, and it's only a $39,000 investment in this portfolio. So when you have these sorts of stocks that are performing this well, they become heavyweights, and I don't worry about it. I mean, if I had put in that much money and it was, Meta and Tesla were this heavy of weights in the public account, I'd worry about it because I'd be like, crap, man, I think I got too overexposed. But because they've gone up so much, I'm not concerned about it. Now, am I looking to buy more Tesla shares in 2024? Do I think Tesla stock will, perform well or bad in 2024? So first off, I am personally not looking to add more Tesla shares unless the stock was to go down, let's say at some point during the year, which is always a possibility. There's a potential where Tesla stock could go down during the year and I add some more shares, right? We saw this. I actually added some shares in this portfolio at that was the beginning of this year. The beginning of this year in 2023, I actually added some more Tesla shares. So if this stock, has some sort of big downfall or something, I'll be there to pick up shares, like absolutely. How do we think the stock will perform in 2024? I'm not expecting a great year for Tesla stock in 2024. I'm expecting a very volatile year in 2024. I think there's going to be a lot of concern still about high interest rates, demand. I think that's still going to be a talk of EV demand, and I think that's going to be still a debate out there in 2024. Cybertruck, and does it take them a long time to get that thing ramped? If they don't really have it ramped very much in Q1, the bears are going to be saying they can't ramp it, it's impossible, this and that, right? That's what they're going to say. Like if Tesla doesn't come out the gates running in Q1 with Cybertruck, that's what the bears are going to run with the narrative. Tesla can't produce this thing. They only produce 8,000 units, 5,000 units, 10,000 units, whatever the number is, right? They can't do it. They can't do it. Elon messed up this time. That's going to be the debate. And so that could obviously get Tesla stock. So I wouldn't be surprised if, Tesla's one of those stocks that maybe it runs down, then runs back up. And overall for the year, it doesn't make a huge upward or downward move by the end of the year, essentially, right? It goes through this and even 2019 was a little bit like that for Tesla. And there was a huge Model 3 ramp year, and Tesla stock was kind of up and down throughout that year. If I recall, it ended up being a good year in 2019, but it was a very up and down year for Tesla, if I recall back then. So anyways, that's kind of my expectations with Tesla, and that's where I'm at. I'm extremely excited about the long term with Tesla. There's no doubt about that. 2024 I think can still be shaky, but I'm so excited about that one for the next 5-10 years, okay? Third biggest position up here is Amazon stock. So this is a stock I put a pretty good chunk of money in this year. It's one of the stocks I've been buying this year. It's performed pretty good for us so far. We're at $42,000 on the stock, $113,000 cost basis on this one. And so when it comes to Amazon, I've been always wanting to build a position in Amazon. And this was finally the year that I said, you know what, we're going to get this baby rolling. I think I actually technically started buying in 2022, but this is the year I really added a lot of shares. And so with the Amazon shares here, am I looking to add more? The answer is, if I didn't find that many other great opportunities and the stock went down under 125 specific, I would actually be looking to buy more Amazon shares, absolutely. Am I going to buy more Amazon shares, 150 plus? Probably not. I'll probably just hold what I have here. The thing I love about Amazon is obviously they have growth levers all over that company. The e-commerce side, it's like people just order more and more stuff every year from Amazon. I don't really see that trend ending anytime soon. Like people are just going to order more and more of everyday necessities, of just random things. Like I don't see that trend going away anytime soon. So they have all those growth levers. They have the advertising business, which is a straight profit machine for the company. On top of that, they have obviously AWS, which is a straight cash flow machine for the company, and AWS should get in a much better place in 2024. So how do I think Amazon stock will perform in 2024? I think it's actually going to be a pretty good year for Amazon stock. And the reason being is I think Amazon Web Services is going to see a nice reacceleration of growth. And I think that reacceleration of growth is going to excite a lot of people on Wall Street with a lot of big Wall Street money, because they care more about Amazon Web Services than anything else. I can tell you that. Like the e-commerce business, man, that's like back page story for Wall Street. They care about AWS. It's all about AWS. It's all about AWS. So if they come through and start having a nice reacceleration of growth in 2024 versus 2023, it's going to excite a lot of people in regards to stock. And you're going to have a lot of people start to FOMO into this one, 170, 175, 180, 185. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it's a pretty good year for Amazon stock overall. Next up here, Elf Beauty. This became a big weight in the portfolio because it went up so much, right? Up 1,648% on this stock, up $119,000. Cosmetics company, am I looking to buy more shares of Elf? Surprisingly enough, believe it or not, I am actually looking to buy more Elf shares. I've actually bought more Elf shares in another portfolio here recently. And when it comes to Elf, the bottom line is their bottom line's exploding. I mean, the profitability of this company is going to the moon. I mean, they're like 2x and 3xing EPS on a year-over-year basis. I think they're going to continue that in 2024. Do I think the stock will perform well in 2024? And the answer is yes, I do. I absolutely do. I think there's a lot of people very underweight this stock. And I think if you want to own something in the in the beauty area, the cosmetics area, I think this is a number one stock that people got to look at to put money into. They took the mantle away from Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder used to be that company, and Ulta really used to be that company. And in my personal opinion, e.l.f. has taken it away from those two, just dominant companies in the cosmetics industry, the beauty industry. They've taken it away now. And I think the number one stock over everything, over Estee, over Ulta, over everything, is e.l.f. Beauty. Like, they're unstoppable. So I love this company. I kind of wish it would go down in 2024 because I would love to buy more shares. But I just don't think it's that realistic. And I think people are going to continue to pile into this one. Next thing you know, it's going to be a $200+ stock, and we'll be looking like, wow, didn't it seem like just yesterday e.l.f. hit 100 and now it's at 200? Like, that's what I think is going to play out there. Next biggest stock is PayPal. So PayPal, I'm pretty much buying the stock every single week right now. Literally week after week after week after week after week. Right now, I'm buying the stock actively, which means I'm extremely bullish. When you see me just continue to buy a stock every single week, it means I'm very bullish on that stock overall. So in regards to PayPal, we're down about 10% on these shares right now, down about 13K. Do I plan on continuing to buy PayPal in 2024? And the answer is yes, at least into the first quarter. Probably not after the first quarter, but I do have a little more shares to add. I want to get to 2,000 shares in the public count, and I want to continue to add some more shares in my other portfolios as well. But so I'll likely continue to buy this one into Q1, and I'll likely stop buying the stock at some point in Q1. Now, with that being said, do I think it's going to be a great year, bad year, okay year for PayPal in 2024? And the answer is, I actually believe it can be a great year for PayPal stock in 2024. Great year. I personally think this could be my top performing stock in 2024. We'll see. It's not the end of the world if it's not, but I think there's a potential it could be. When I look at what Alex Chriss is doing with that company, when I look at all the innovation they're going to have in the company, when I think about the numbers they're going to put up in 2024, between the numbers, the innovation, and the belief that I think will start to come in Alex Chriss in terms of Wall Street belief, I think there's going to be a lot of momentum that starts to pile into PayPal, and I think it will happen really quickly throughout 2024. Also, everybody that possibly wanted to sell PayPal shares already has over this past couple of years, right? If there's any last minute folks with the tax loss harvesting, they're getting rid of the shares this week and this coming week and next week. And other than that, we're good to go. So I think if anybody wanted to dump out of the stock, they already have gone and dumped out this year and took that loss. Because they really had 3 years to basically take that PayPal loss, because the stock's been in a kind of a downward trend for 3 years. So I believe the stock will perform tremendous in 2024, and I'm very excited about that company. And I got 60 more shares at least to add in the public count. And I got some more shares to add in some other portfolios as well. Appreciate y'all joining me as always. Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for being subscribed to the channel. If you're looking to apply, join my private group, get access to all my courses, 6 to 7-figure Discord chat, see the moves I'm making in this portfolio each and every week, then check out the pinned comment down there. You can fill out an application. We see if we can get you in there either this week or next week. Much love and have a great day.